excited. I've got an Etsy shop. It's called Circ Coffee, C-I-R Coffee. And what I'm really excited about is this. I make the best on the market right now World War II reproduction K rations. A lot better than what I've seen out there in YouTube. I used as close to the original recipes as I can get, so like no more club crackers or graham crackers and different things like that. It's just as close as I can find to get to the original recipe. So I'm going to do an unboxing and a taste test with you on my K ration. And I think what makes my video unique is I actually use original K ration contents for how I reproduce them. So with each component, I can compare it to an original item. So that's it there, Etsy, Circ Coffee, C-I-R Coffee. So let me show you what I think that you'd like. All right, so this is it here. This is the box I get. Printers does an awesome job with that. Patent Food Products. It's got the full menu list on the back like the originals. It's got the tuck-in flap design on either side. I'll show you the detail of the flaps. See, look at that. It's even got like a date stamp there, like June 1944. So these morale type K rations are perfect for like your late 1944, Battle of the Bulge, Operation Market Garden, Ardennes, or anything like 1945. So like anything D-Day or pre-D-Day would use like the earlier type rations, but these are the ones that would appear afterwards. And honestly, they're a lot better. So huge improvements to the contents and obviously the box design as the war progressed. So side by side, here is mine next to an original. Obviously it's faded a lot, a lot of discoloration and stuff like that, but you can see, my box is ripped. There's the malaria warning on that one and the malaria warning on mine, right? You've got your contents on the back, upside down, whoop, and the contents listed. I figure if I can get it right side up for once on mine, right? So without further ado, let me open this bad boy up and I'll show you kind of what we got inside. So just like the originals, boom, wax coated box, inner box. So these inner boxes were dipped in wax to waterproof the contents. So on mine, if you order one, I leave these flaps open. Why? Because you may want to change the contents, check them out, even add cigarettes. So I include a cigarette box. Obviously, it's empty. I can't sell them. But if you smoke them, you got them, put them in there. So I leave these flaps open. And it allows you to, in my opinion, better reuse this packaging. So if you want to buy one of these, I've designed it where you can reuse as much of the components as possible. The packaging can get expensive, and a lot of the add-ins for the food items are easy to find. So right off the bat, some Waldorf toilet paper. Hey, check this out. I've got an original one right here next to it. A little discolored, but you can see the size comparison and kind of a comparison even of the tissue quality. So I'm not going to give you instructions how to use it, but this is what was included in the K ration kit for soldiers to use as toilet paper. All right. My favorite in the box design is the accessory pack. We'll get to that in a second. Okay. You've got your meat can, green painted OD meat can, right? You've got you do like a lot of like Wrigley's peppermint or spearmint gum, but I like these too. I like the PK 2-pack. So I've got a couple different designs. I've got that one, kind of a lighter color, more decorative, and then I've got this one, which is my brand newest one, and I've used an original as the scan for it. I mean, like that's about as spot on as you can get. So you can see the original's kind of discolored and got some staining to it. So I cleared that up in my scan and boom, got a really nice reproduction pack of gum. So, and it's got 2 pieces in there. So that's why I prefer these over the Wrigley's. You get 2 pieces of gum versus 1 piece. So without further ado, this is the accessory pack. I love it. It comes heat shrinked in this bag, right? And it'll have for breakfast, you've got Nescafe Coffee. I do a couple of these. You've got some granulated sugar, some biscuits, fruit bar, and wooden paddle spoon. So even just like this, it makes a really, really great display. But for fun, we're going to open the whole thing and try it out. So biscuits. So this is one of the reasons why I'd say the rations I make are the most unique, is a lot of guys don't include these. I use a original recipe for various different biscuit designs. So I use right now, I'm making a K2 graham cracker, which looks like these ones are. A K4, which is kind of like a plain white wheat, almost like a soda cracker. And then you've got like the C-type square formula as well. It was used in the C rations, and the larger square JB Carr biscuits that wouldn't really be included in the breakfast. They were more common in like the supper and dinner. But these are mine. These aren't like, this isn't hardtack. This isn't just like flour, water, salt. These are fairly complex, and the K2s are whole wheat flour that I mill here at home using a Nutrimill Harvest. Salt, a little bit of baking soda. They've got molasses, a substance called invert sugar, normal table sugar as well, and then I use real pork lard as the shortening. These things are phenomenal, and just like the originals, they come shrink wrapped and heat sealed in cellophane. Here are some originals right next to it. These are the originals up top and mine on the bottom. So pretty close in design. Whole pattern, manufacturer mark. Tried to get the thickness there too, as close as I can get. The stretch wrapping. There's the bottom side. So other than a couple bug holes on this, it'd be hard to tell from the original, in my opinion. And then these are another type of biscuit I make. I've got these loose right here. So these are manufactured for JB Carr, you know, right next to the originals. You'll see those more in, again, like the breakfast and the supper K rations. So here is Nescafe Coffee, and here it is next to an original packet. This is just soluble coffee product. This one's by General Foods. So I do a couple different runs, but they generally have the same kind of design. Like, you know, they'd have this panel, you know, printed across the front, you know, with a couple cut off. There's like SoCal Coffee too is another one I do. Nescafe, obviously, I pulled that one because it's the easy to recognize brand. So you can see this one's like hardened and stiffened over time. Mine's got soluble coffee ready to go in the field for you. And actually, we're going to try it out right now. I've got my 1945 Dated Canteen cup here. And I've got some hot water. So I'm going to open the bad boy up. I'm going to open along the seam. So I want to reuse my packaging as often as I can. And just seal that bad boy back up. I can get, you know, a couple uses out of it. There you go. Put that in there. Boom. We're ready to go. And of course the mesh bin to go along with it. Now I can imagine being a soldier in the field in 1944, 1945, on a cold winter day like this. This would be a welcomed inclusion to a ration kit. So the calorie content definitely wasn't there, especially for what soldiers were consuming on a daily basis. So I think hunger was kind of a constant companion. So yeah, we need to sweeten that bad boy up. And that's why we're going to include some granulated sugar. I do a bunch of different ones of these too. I do Northwestern that's got like a patriotic logo on the back. This one just says made in the USA, kind of like the originals. This one, Patent Foods. I do Jellum sugar, and then I do a couple different, actually like sugar cubes that are wrapped. Jack Frost is one, and then Domino in like a white paper. That was more common in the early war rations, but I make those as well. And then boom, here is mine next to an original Patent Foods box. So it got crushed a little bit, but you can tell it's pretty close in size and paper to the original. I'm pretty proud of these too. The only thing that I would say is different in my version of the sugar boxes is that the sugar boxes, the granulated sugar inside's in a like a plastic, what's it called, like a plastic Ziploc bag. I'll show you here in a second. The other ones, like the originals, it's just loose sugar in that box. So take care of opening your packaging. So I'm kind of threading mine apart here a little bit, but a little bit of glue and you can reuse that box if you choose to. So instead of having like loose sugar, I have like a little packet of mine that's included in with that. And that way the sugar doesn't like leak out of the bag. And then it's easier to reuse your box too. So I want to dump, this says I think 23 grams of sugar. Yeah, why not? I'm going to pour that whole sucker in there with that coffee. Give it a good stir. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. So, and then my canteen, this got cold water in it in case I have like any kind of cold drinks, but for the coffee and the breakfast K Ration today, I want to leave that hot. What a cool design that is too. I don't make these, but look at that. This is made by B.E. Co. in 1945, and it's got the little slots in here, you know, so you can stick like another utensil, probably for a fork, but like I can put my knife in there and get it closer to the fire without burning my hand. Let's see what else we've got next. Oh, I wanted to show everybody the cigarettes too. Get these suckers out of there. They're still in the box. Chesterfield Cigarettes. Look at that. So it's got the correct pull-out tray. I almost lost that one there in the coffee. It's got the correct pull-out tray, you know, with the flap design like that, just like the originals. I don't leave these stretch wrapped. Obviously, I don't include any kind of tobacco products in here, but if you have cigarettes, put them in here, and you're good to go. It's also a good way to hide like other snacks and stuff like that, or vitamins, whatever else you got. Here is an original pack next to it. It's got a little bit of sheen to it because it is stretch wrapped. As close as I can get to that packaging. This one's a little bit darker, but I try to compensate for that too because of just how the paper ages and, you know, the other items that are included in the ration kit can kind of, you know, degrade them a little bit or darken them. But you can see it's got the pull-out tray design too. So does mine. Cool. All right, what else we've got? You have a little wooden paddle spoon included. Here's an original. A lot of different shapes and designs to it, as you can see there. And as we get closer to the end here, here is my fruit bar next to an original fruit bar. Hard to tell much of the difference. Cellophane wrapped, kind of dark. This one, it's got a little bit more of like a convex shape to it. Mine's a little bit more square on the ends. But these are pretty interesting. I don't really care for the taste, obviously, being a fruit bar. But, you know, you do need a good source of fruit and vitamins on a daily basis. So, hey, why not? I've had a lot worse healthy food before. These also have like some nuts in them too. So if you have a nut allergy, you make sure you take that into account. Anything that I use that's store-bought on my Etsy listing, I'm going to include the ingredients obviously too. So if you have any allergy concerns, just check that out. If you have any further questions that those don't answer, just feel free to email me. Put that aside there. Let's check out these biscuits too while we're at it. I like these things. I've made them for a while now, and I mean they're quite tasty. I'm glad that, you know, it's just not a plain soda cracker. And some of the other reproduction K Rations I've seen out there, this is kind of besides this general attention to detail, this is the one of the things that I think really falls short. These ones are the K2 formula. It's got that molasses sugar in there and whole wheat. And for a whole wheat cracker, you can't beat it. It's just got just the right amount of sweetness to it. They're a very hearty biscuit, good source of calorie intake. And I love them. So usually when I make a batch of these, I'll save some dough, make different designs and stuff like that for my kids for breakfast, and they enjoy them. All right, we're going to save the rest of the biscuits for the entree portion, which was your meat, your meat can. So I include an OD green can of meat in my rations. You're usually going to find like ham or chicken, are usually the most common. They're like a 5-ounce can, and right now that's as close as anybody really out there in the ration world can get to the original can. This is an original can that would have been included in breakfast. It's OD painted green. It's marked ham and eggs. I think they're on the top. This can's degraded somewhat. I think it's from April 1945. So right at the tail end of the war, you can see how that seam has rusted through. So during World War II, this was the canning technique. You'd have like a little key, like a sardine key, that would fit right in there in the unlock, and you twist it open. Obviously, that's something that's very difficult to find on the market. I really, really hope that somewhere out there, with somebody with some good access to some canning technology and equipment can help us out in the ration world and upgrade from our cans. So what I usually tell folks that are into reenacting or want to add that meal component to it, or just want that that full experience of one or all three meals that came with the ration, the breakfast, the supper, and the dinner. And what I used to do as a reenactor is, along with my 3 rations, I'd just bring these 2 things with me. Can of cheese, that would be included in your dinner. This is made by WWII. These cans are a little bit too big to put inside the ration kit, without modification. But they're good. You can throw it in there for that full experience. It's a processed American cheese. And then the luncheon meat, I put this because you instantly kind of have like a chopped ham, and then you've got like a pork loaf with the other half of it for the supper component. So with those 2 cans, you add them to the rest of the contents, and boom, you have like that full experience. So that's what I already have going here in my 1944 dated mess kit. Don't believe me? Check it out. I've got some already cooked chopped luncheon meat. I used to find like powdered eggs too I'd bring with me, but they got kind of complicated, so I'm just going to use like the chopped ham. I've got the rest of my fruit bar. Got my biscuits right here. Boom. I got my wooden paddle spoon. And I've got my balance of my coffee and my sugar there. So check that out, everybody. I got to make sure my original contents stay over there. And I got my gum here too, and my post-meal toilet paper. So hey, check it out. Let me get the camera here. Bring it up closer here. Boom. And we're all ready to go. Cool. Let's try it out. The sweetness of these biscuits, these graham biscuits, with the saltiness of the ham, very good. So included in mine, you might find like a can of ham or chicken. And that's what you can expect. I mean, right now, that's as close as you're going to get to enjoying a fully edible, K Ration, short of finding one that's been like hermetically sealed since 1945. So that's it, guys. That's the rest of my unboxing, taste test, and original component comparison video. I hope you enjoy it. Again, check me out. Check me out my Etsy shop. Cir Coffee, C-I-R, Coffee. I've got the K Ration, the Late War Morale K Rations, breakfast, supper, and dinner. I've got other unboxing videos. I got a whole bunch of details of the contents, some of the different variations that I make for different runs that are included. And I'm also producing the D Ration chocolate bar. And later this year, I'll start back up making the canned C Ration B units, which would include like the biscuits and candies and all kinds of different stuff that we included in the World War II C Ration kits. So enjoy, check it out. God bless, and I hope you enjoy your World War II K Ration meal as much as I did. All right, thanks.